Hey, call the meeting to order. Janet, take roll call.
Commissioner Dozer,
Here.
Commissioner Erickson,
Here.
Commissioner Waldner,
Here.
Commissioner Abraham,
Here.
Mayor Lindsay.
Here. Okay, attached, we have the minutes of the August 19th meeting. Are there any additions or corrections?
I'll move the approval as prepared and mailed.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have the agenda for this evening. Is there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Appearances, acknowledgements, and correspondence. Richard Freewalt is here, and he is asked to address the commission regarding Flynn and the softballs that go over the fence. So, Richard, if you would mind stepping up to that microphone so the people at home and that could be able to hear you well. Thank you.
I guess the problem we have are the balls coming over the fence. And not only is it it's quite a worry for us with our children or ourselves outside. We might be hit by one of those balls, and it definitely cause a little damage to the person. And also our property is getting pretty well beat up, our mobile homes and our garden sheds. We're asking to have maybe a net or something put up in order to save us from the balls.
Mhm.
And they've done significant damage to our mobile homes. And again, should one of the balls happen to hit, especially one of our grandchildren, I have some other of the tenants that live next to me here also to maybe tell you a little bit of problems that they have also with them.
Okay.
Again, we're worried about mainly the hurt, harm that could come from one of the balls hitting one of us or one of our kids or grandkids.
Mhm. Is there anyone else that would like to comment?
Yeah, it's like Rich says, it's getting to be a royal pain.
Mhm.
I mean, me, Rich, my wife, my son-in-law, his wife, there's times we're outside and not even knowing it. My grandsons especially. It was just the other day, I believe it was on Thursday, I was rolling up my garden hose, and that's in between my house and my shed.
Mhm.
I was thinking it was gonna be no big deal for us to be that far away from the back fence of the ball diamond there. I'd be danged if that ball didn't land 1.5 feet away from my oldest grandson,
Mhm.
and he's only 7 years old. He's got a long life ahead of him.
Mhm.
So how I wouldn't know what to do if one of the balls hit my grandsons. Me, I would care, but not as much as I do for my grandsons
Mhm.
or anybody else around me. And prior to that, we have a wood burner out in the back. And yes, we knew there was a ball game going on, and we decided to stoke up a fire, and we paid attention. And there again, a ball landed 2 feet away from us. Ran up, the guy hollered out, heads up.
Mhm.
But, well, we took that choice to sit there, and so that's back on that one. But the back of my house, we've lived there for 4 years, and over the 4 years, I've collected over 100 balls. This year, it's not as bad, because I've been told that the city of Madison does not pay for them balls no more, so therefore, they're coming across our property into my neighbor's garden, trampling it, and he's 82 years old. He works hard on his garden, not for somebody to come in here and trample it.
Mhm.
And Rich was just telling me here last Friday that he had put no trespassing signs up, and they disregarded it. That is our property. That is rented property, so therefore it is ours. It's nobody else there to be walking on. And the city police did nothing about it.
Well, and he did the right step in that, he filed a complaint and that was filled out. And then, the next step is to bring it to the commission, and now that we're aware of it and that, our attorney isn't here, we'll have to look into it with the city attorney and see what the possibilities in that are. I don't have an answer for you at this time, but I do understand your concern. I understand what's happening, and we do appreciate, you bring it to the attention of the commission. So, and at this time, the only thing I can really offer is that, when we find something out more, we can get back to you with an answer.
Well, I was told by the court manager, what's her name? Diana Johnson, that she'd addressed this problem years back, and they said that the city of Madison commissioners, whoever, would not do nothing about it because the Flint Field was there before the trailer court. That was built back in 1929. But I know for a fact that the softball diamonds on the north side of Flint Field was not there before the trailer court was built. Because I worked for the city of Madison in 79, 80, I believe it was. Tom Comus was the mayor, and my supervisor at the time was David Holman. Now, what Diane says is that, well, like I said earlier, the city won't do nothing about it, can't do nothing about it because it was all grandfathered in there. And I guess, whosever words it was, well, you shouldn't have chose to live there.
Well, again,
that's not the case.
Again, that was a previous commission, and so I don't have any answers, for what they did or why. But at this point in time, and that, you're going through the correct steps. And the only thing that I can say at this point in time is that we'll look into it, and we'll look into the legal aspects of it, and as a commission, we'll see if there's a remedy that we can come up with.
Okay, and then, another thing I want to address is, like previous, you said you had the new commission here, and, they do have nets on the northeast side of the ball diamond, softball diamond, to save the ball from going into the creek. And back at that commission, it's been up there for quite a while, I don't know
Okay.
how long it's been there.
Okay?
But I thought, why would that commission care about losing a $7 ball versus a child losing their life?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who the commissioners were back then.
Yeah, see, and I can't answer you that
How long
either.
ago that was.
Yeah.
I've been on the commission for over 5 years, and this is the first I've heard of the problem.
It's probably been longer than that, because we've been here for 4.
Yep.
We've been living in Union Square for 4.
So after this is addressed, will you contact us then?
Yes.
To let us know how far
Yes.
this matter is
Well,
gonna go?
Richard has a formal complaint, and so we have his address, and we can respond to that. And then, he can share that, share with you.
All right, sounds good to me, sounds good to you?
Yeah, I have one more.
Sure.
concern with them. They seem they have quite a bit of trouble turning the lights off at night. Yeah, lights stay on sometimes till 1 o'clock at night. Makes it quite difficult for me to get to sleep.
Is that with a game going on, or with after a game's over?
No one's even there.
Okay.
You guys could organize a softball game over there if you want.
Yeah.
Probably not that.
But it's-
You don't want to have a midnight league, do you?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we could have, I think that's a problem that can be addressed, because
Yeah.
we're paying
Yeah.
for the electricity.
That's
so.
what I'm saying, we're paying, everybody here is paying for that.
Absolutely.
The tennis courts have been on timers up there, so when they used to have the same problem at the tennis courts, and they put them on timers so that eventually, if people didn't, I used to play quite a bit of tennis, and have to put them on timers, you'd have to remember to go do it, because in the middle of a match, you might be playing in the dark, but it created, or it solved the problem, for guys who were just walking away and not turning the lights on.
Just like a little kid, they turn the light switch on and forget how to shut it off.
Sure. Yes. Well,
TVs are that way too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
So, Again, thank you, and, you know, we'll go through the process here, and that, we'll see what we can come up with for a remedy. Okay?
Okay.
Again,
Appreciate your
thank
time.
you.
You bet. Thanks.
Okay, number 2, acknowledge July investment report, gross salaries and bills for ratification.
Make a motion to acknowledge the July investment report, gross salaries and bills for ratification.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Seeing no old business, we'll move on into new business. In new business, we have a first reading of a proposed ordinance 1545, Appendix B, zoning. And I will ask Chad if he wants to address this.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. This is an ordinance that the planning commission reviewed this Tuesday when they had a hearing. There's really two different parts of the zoning ordinance that we're proposing to change here. The first part has to do with fences, and I would refer to this primarily as a housekeeping type matter. Just no, the intent isn't to change anything with this, it's just to clean up some language so it reads how it was, it reads and can be interpreted how it was explained basically to the planning commission when this was originally adopted less than a year ago, just to clean it up. And it has to do with fences in the, on corner lots in the rear yard on the street side, you know, to make sure that they're dealt with.
Visibility for people going around a corner,
Right,
kind of?
Right, so they
Okay.
still can't block the clear view triangle, but it allows people to install a full height fence in those
Okay.
rear side yards, so to speak.
Mhm.
And so that's the first part. Again, very, very minor changes to that. The second part is the second one is having to do with accessory building. This is a new paragraph in that section. And what essentially this is doing is allowing, clarifying what has always been interpreted in the ordinance by us, which it has to do with accessory buildings and on corner lots as well. This allows for one accessory building to be on one side of the corner lot, to be at the smaller setback, so to speak, or
Mhm.
many times if it's a corner lot, the buildings can be closer on one frontage than the other. And it says that on one of the frontages, the owner can select, and that can be up to that minimum setback. However, on the other frontage, it has to be to the greater setback or equal to the setback of the structure, whichever is greater. And so that basically they get to choose on which side they get to have that setback. And that's really what's intended to do, is to just clarify
Okay.
that.
And again, that's for a visibility issue, or,
That one
or
is
any,
not for vis-
or any of the,
It's more
any of the
aesthetics.
corners, any of the 3 corners, and say wherever your house is, any of the 3 other corners, basically.
Right, this is more for the aesthetics and, you know, the primary structure has in a residential, for example, it has to have either, generally speaking, in most residential, 25-foot setback from each frontage on a corner lot. Or the landowner can choose to have one frontage at 15 and the other at 30. And again, that 25 and 25 and 15 and 30 are set for visibility at the intersections. And so that's the principal structure. Now, this has to do with the accessory structures, garages
Mhm.
primarily. What it's saying is, in that specific example I just mentioned, one of the accessory structures can be 15 feet away on one of those frontages. But on the other frontage, it can't be 15 feet away. It has to match the setback of the structure, or be, or be at the minimum, which is, you know, in that case, probably 25.
Okay.
And so only one of them can be, it prevents two accessory structures sticking out in front of it. So if you look down the street, you know, you don't see a house out there, or an accessory structure on that corner lot out
Farther than the
closer
house.
to the curb and the sidewalk on both sides. It just
Okay.
says they can have one. So that's really what it does.
Okay.
And, you know, maybe next time I'll provide some sketches to clarify at the next
Mhm.
reading. This will have a
I was gonna say,
second
if you could bring some little Monopoly houses, if you,
Yeah.
you can understand it.
Yeah.
We talked about the planning commission very easy, but the idea is that if you pick a front door to your house and the front door is on this side and your setback is here, you're usually the accessory building on the side yard, which would be a way for, could be farther, closer to the right of way and not to the front, because that would, it'd be out in front of your house. So there was some confusion as to whether you could have both them out in front, and this clarifies that.
Okay. So, all right. Any further discussion?
I would move approval of first reading of proposed ordinance 1545, Appendix B zoning.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the first reading of proposed ordinance number 1545, Appendix B zoning. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 2, maintenance and financial agreement with the South Dakota Department of Transportation, Madison Municipal Airport, project number 2012 pavement management. Now, Fred or Chad, do either of you want to speak to this? Chad?
I haven't worked with the airport board much on this item. It looks as if it's about a $200 agreement for the year. I believe it's limited to this year. So I have to apologize. I haven't looked at this very comprehensively. I don't
Okay.
know if,
This is just the standard payment agreement. Every so many years, I think 3 to 5, they come around and maintain the pavement on the taxiways typically, is what's out there now. They put a lot of concrete in, so that's why it's so cheap now. When we redid the last taxiways, we replaced a lot of the old pavement with concrete. Mr. Funk did a great job for us there, so really cuts down on the amount of maintenance and extends the life out. So it's just a standard. The state comes through and does them all for everybody, so it's just our time's up, so.
Very good. Any other discussion? Do we have a motion?
I'd make a motion to approve the maintenance and financial agreement between the South Dakota Department of Transportation and the Madison Municipal Airport for project number 2012 pavement maintenance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have some attached personnel issues, not issues, requests. Is there any discussion?
I just have a question on this, the second one, the department says supervisor. I'm just wondering what department that.
Front desk.
Front desk?
Community center admin should be a supervisor there at the.
I couldn't tell from the
Yeah,
signature.
it says supervisor, doesn't it? It is community center,
Is that Aaron's signature?
yes, on the right-hand side there.
Okay.
Really?
It is.
Okay,
That's a J.
Make a motion to approve personnel.
second.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, seeing no other business, do we have a motion to go into executive session?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay.
This is gonna take a while, I can tell already.
As soon as Jeff walks in, I'm like.
Wouldn't you know, Heinemeier show up, we're having lunch. My friend Gene Larson. My friend Gene Larson here drove from Sioux Falls.
She's asking as well. He didn't know who that other person
No,
was.
he moved to Sioux Falls.
Oh, Hanson.
I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, he didn't identify.
Somebody told me that.
Yes.
He told me that he and Betty moved to Sioux Falls.
I apologize for that,
I don't
too.
know.
That's fine.
I think it's Rick
Well,
Hansen.
I haven't seen him in quite a while.
Wasn't that Rick?
Yeah.
Wasn't that Rick Hansen? It was a second one.
Yes.
Is that-
Yeah,
who was
it's a
it?
Hansen, yes.
How many,
I believe it was Rick
Rick
Hansen.
Hansen.
Hansen, yes.